The danger of isolating Luke 1:35 from the teachings of Jesus and the apostles. The method of biblical interpretation that places more importance on the angel's declaration to Mary and Joseph recorded by Matthew and Luke than the teachings of Jesus and his apostles regarding his identity is flawed. Jesus and his apostles are the primary sources of information about his person and teachings, and their words are the foundation and are central to the understanding of his origin, mission, and relationship with God the Father. Ephesians 2:20. The reason Jesus is called the Son of God in Luke 1:35 is one of a number of reasons given in the New Testament. It is crucial to comprehend that the concept of sonship does not evolve or change over time. The biblical reasons for Jesus being the Son of God are simply affirmations that acknowledge his status in a particular sense, not causes or determinants of it. These explanations are statements of truth, not events that established or defined his origin as the Son of God. Luke 1:35 is a declaration, not a definition, of his sonship. In the Gospel of John, Jesus himself places emphasis upon the Son of God having been sent into the world, come into the world, and upon completion of his mission, returning to or going to the Father and where he was before. This progression is also depicted as his descent from heaven and consummative ascension into heaven. Jesus said, "I came forth out of the Father and have come into the world." Jesus' words indicate his origin in heaven and refute the erroneous belief that he only became the Son of God through his conception and birth of Mary. The act of relying solely on a secondary source, such as the angel's declaration in Luke 1:35, to understand the doctrine of Christ while attempting to interpret the teachings of Jesus and his apostles in reference to it, is a philosophical error known as privileging the secondary source. This approach assumes that the secondary source provides a complete and accurate representation of the doctrine, when in reality it only offers a limited perspective. The teachings of Jesus and his apostles are the primary sources of information about his person and mission, and therefore, should be given more weight and emphasis in our understanding of the doctrine of Christ. When one privileges the secondary source, they are putting the emphasis in the wrong place, as the angel's declaration is minor in comparison to the whole doctrine of Christ as declared by Jesus and the apostles. By focusing on the limited perspective offered by the angel's declaration, one risks distorting or missing crucial aspects of the doctrine that are only revealed in the teachings of Jesus and his apostles. It is important to note that the angel's declaration in Luke 1:35 is not insignificant, but rather it is a part of the larger narrative of the New Testament. However, it must be understood in the context of the teachings and statements of Jesus and the apostles, and not isolated from them, because that will inevitably lead to an incomplete and flawed understanding of the Son of God. The teachings of Jesus and the apostles form the basis and are central to our understanding of the Son of God and his connection with God the Father.